Centres provide a really important community facility, an important meeting place, and an opportunity to do a whole range of activities for our residents. It's looking into providing Wi-Fi is something that Council's doing, and it has been raised by some of our residents. We will look at it as part of our budget process. And we certainly already have facilities available to connect to the internet via our libraries, and also in some of our community centres we already have computer facilities available for them to do that. Facilities like our NBN hub are a really great opportunity for our more elderly residents, in particular those that haven't had the opportunity through school to use computers or to use iPads or any of that new technology, the devices that are around these days, to learn to use those and to be connected with their grandchildren. So I'd encourage our residents to use that, to take advantage of that. And also another way that we can improve, I guess, the facilities and the different activities that are used at our community centres is to promote them and have a really wide range of activities available. We've seen that success with community centres like the Henley Community Centre, where they've really increased and expanded the range of activities down there with dance, martial arts, craft. There's a whole range of activities. We have a guide that comes out on a regular basis, so our residents can see in the community guide, it comes out 6 monthly. They can see what activities are on offer at our community, all of our community centres, and can participate in those activities. So we're very, very happy about the role that our community centres play, and we only see that that's going to expand and grow in the future. Well, St Clair Rec Centre is a really important community facility. It's used by a whole range of both residents and visitors to our city. It's very important for kids to be able to keep active, and that centre has been identified as a priority by Council for upgrade. We have got money allocated in our long-term financial plan. We have been seeking opportunities for matching funding from the state and federal government to assist us in really accommodating the long-term needs of that centre. But in the meantime, we are going to be doing some really much needed work at that centre just to improve the look and feel of it. We're going to be upgrading the foyer area, providing new furniture, upgrading the wet areas. That's been identified as one of the priorities by our community reference group that are working with us. We encourage anyone who is really passionate about the St Clair Recreation Centre to join our community reference group and be part of planning for that upgrade. We will be doing a strategic review of the centre's needs, and that's kicking off now. We've engaged a consultant to do that, and we'll be looking at getting that information early next year. And what we're calling the early wins, the upgrade of the foyer, the upgrade of the wet areas, and other priority areas that have been identified by the reference group, that will all kick off in March in 2014, so very soon now. We're going out to tender with those works now, and we look forward to getting started on the first stage of this recreation centre upgrade.
Good job.
This is a really difficult one for Council. I must admit I've seen some wonderful debates take place in the chamber over trees. In fact, probably one of the most animated debates ever, I think. Look, I do empathise with people that are having trouble with trees in this sort of way. It's generally we get a lot of positive feedback from residents about trees, but I can understand that individual trees may cause some residents issues. I guess council has to balance that up against having lovely tree-lined streets, which is certainly something that the broader community appreciates and wants to see. If we start removing every tree that a resident is concerned about, then over time we will very rapidly lose our trees from our streets, and that would have a significant impact on the streetscapes. So whilst we do recognise that trees from time to time will cause some grief with the leaves that they drop, with the seeds that they drop, it's all part of having trees in our streets, and so we really can't remove trees just because it causes concern for an individual resident. This is one of those things where we just have to look at what's good for the greater community. Having said that, we do take on board feedback that we get from residents about certain types of trees, and certainly we can look at whether or not if we're getting a lot of complaints from residents about one particular type of tree, whether we review our streetscape program with a view to removing that tree from it in future. And as we renew the street trees over time, we see those trees slowly disappear. So whilst I'm sorry I can't probably give the resident an answer that they're looking for on this one, mainly because we don't want to see our streets denuded of trees, and it is something that when we did our community plan consultation, it was the number one thing that residents spoke to us about was trees and concern over the loss of trees, and really support for council planting more trees. To thank you all and to everyone who participated in Ask Your Mayor. One thing I'd like to say is that any resident can ask a question at any time. You can contact our customer service centre on 8408 1111, and we'd be really happy to have you contact us with any question that you have. You can also contact your ward councillors, and it's really important that you get to know your ward councillors, know who they are. Their details are all available on our website. We have 16 councillors, and council is divided into 8 wards, so there's 2 councillors in every ward, and they're only too happy to hear from you. So please do get in touch with them. If you're having trouble getting an answer to something, or you didn't get an answer that was quite to your satisfaction, then it's always worth having a discussion with your ward councillor. Or of course, if you're not happy with the result you get there, you can contact me. Only too happy to hear from you, and thanks again for your questions.